last week about Scarface that just came out. It's called The World Is Yours. Speaking of Oliver Stone, we were talking about him in the pre-show. He wrote it. He didn't direct it. De Palma directed it. So it was a pretty intense study about the making of the film, how they got it made, and then the actors, the performances, the difficulties on the set, whatever. Just the story of Scarface. And there was a great line in there where they talked about the amount of time that De Palma was putting into shots, constructing the shots. And if you work for Soderbergh, so maybe it was a similar thing. It wasn't taken for granted that it'll be a master, 2 over the shoulders, maybe medium, move the camera a little, and move on. There was a great deal of effort put into, and they said in the book, like in today's shot for streaming world, everyone's just going to be used to the master, couple of over the shoulders, and then into the next scene, that it's almost going to be jarring to see things that had such intricate construction to how am I going to shoot this scene? Is this better just pulling all the way back and letting the action happen? There's shit that happens from above in Scarface, man, and just the crane shots and dead art. It's going to be a dead art because nothing's in the theater anymore.
And see, the thing with Soderbergh is I remember that he did that show with Clive Owen. I think it was on HBO. I think he was maybe he was Sherlock Holmes and there was a scene. I remember when I was watching the series, and there was a scene where, because Soderbergh's number one peeve, and this of course is just my observation of working with him and being blessed to work with him, he absolutely hates the lighting. Like the guys that set up 19 1Ks around us, he says, because I asked him, I said, I really have enjoyed your work throughout my life. I said, would you be pissed off at me during this process that we're going to do together if I ask questions? He goes, fuck no, man. I said, you can ask me anything you want. And I remember the first day when I was just amazed how it was just like, call was at like noon, and we were basically done with 4 pages by 4 o'clock, and it was just bang, 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 bang. And I said to him, I said, if you were going to tell like a young film student that was wanting to be a director, what would be the one thing you would tell them? He says, when the lighting truck shows up, padlock that motherfucker. Like that, he says, that's
Why?
all your time right there.
Oh, it's because it's a time suck.
That's why he fucking designed that red. That red camera, fucking, you can shoot. I can shoot out in this sun right here and match a shot at midnight. It's all digital. It's like it's unbelievable.
See, I love that quote, an essential, I don't know what the hell I'm reading here, it just came up on the screen. An essential aspect of Soderbergh's approach is that he thinks like an editor while he's shooting. Yeah, well, that's a common thing with the director. You're putting the camera where you are because you know how you're going to cut it or have it cut.
Well, not only that is you take the Magic Mike 2 that we did, and he shot in sequence every day, went back to the hotel, and by 9:45 to 10 o'clock, you could go in and watch, because he'd edit. Now, of course, it wasn't sound edited, but as far as what was going to be in the film was edited, and you could watch it from start to finish. So like the last day when we finished shooting, we all grabbed a couple bottles of wine, and we went up and we sat in a big room, and there was probably 16 of us, and we watched the whole film.
So he had his editors cutting as the dailies would come in. Oh, he was
edited.
Wait a minute. So he would wrap.
Shh. He's looking through the fucking lens.
Yeah.
He's going back and he's editing everything. I mean, that's when she shot that one film. He shot it on a.
Seeing here on the Nick, he would edit the day's footage himself each evening and post the edited scenes for the crew to review, completing an entire episode in just 7 days. Shot High
That's the
Flying
one.
Bird on the
Yeah,
iPhone.
that's the iPhone. Yeah.
God, I'd be so nervous to rely on the iPhone.
Yeah, he's just, there's just, it's just his brilliance is, and then on top of all that, Team USA, like we sat he and I sat one night, and while everybody else went to bed, because we were watching the baseball. It was a championship round. The Brewers were in it that year, I think, and we watched the game, and everybody punked out, and he and I stayed up and watched Team USA, and laughed our asses off.
The hell is Team USA?
Is that like puppet movie?
Oh, Team America.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, and that's still one of my. It's a classic film because when I was a kid, there was XL 500 was a show that was that way. Then also the Thunderbirds was another show that was those marionettes. So